If you're buying a home in California, you know what I'm talking about. That giant stack of disclosure documents that lands in your inbox. It feels, well, overwhelming. But what if I told you that stack of paper isn't a burden, but actually your single most powerful tool as a buyer? Let's break it all down. So you did it. You found the perfect house, your offer was accepted, and then it arrives. This massive digital file, or, an actual stack of paper that looks like a novel. It's pretty intimidating, right? You feel like you need a law degree just to get through page 1. But hold on, let's reframe this whole thing. This isn't just a bunch of boring legal paperwork. I want you to think of it as the house telling you its life story. Yep, every repair, every little quirk, and every potential red flag. It's the ultimate user manual, and you get to read it before you commit. So why do they put you through this disclosure gauntlet? Well, I promise, it's not designed to torture you. It's actually all about creating a fair and transparent playing field for everyone. Let's look at why it's so important. At its absolute core, a disclosure is just this. It's the seller's legal and, frankly, ethical duty to tell you what they know about the property. That's it. They can't just hide things they know are wrong. It's basically a commitment to honesty. And this whole system really has one primary goal: to protect you, the buyer, from any nasty surprises down the road. I mean, sure, it also protects the seller from future lawsuits, but for you, it means the whole deal is built on a foundation of transparency, not just guesswork. All right, let's get into the good stuff. There are a few key documents that make up the bulk of this history report. You can think of these as the main chapters in the story of your potential new home. Okay, first on the list is the big one, the Transfer Disclosure Statement, which everybody just calls the TDS. This is the seller's main statement about the actual condition of the house itself. So the TDS is where the seller has to check a bunch of boxes and explain everything, from a leaky faucet they fixed years ago to the age of the water heater. They have to tell you about known foundation issues, or even if they've had persistent problems with loud neighbors. The most important thing here: don't just skim it. Read every single line. Now, while the TDS is all about the house, this next document looks at what's going on outside the house. It's the Natural Hazard Disclosure, or NHD, and it's all about the risks of the property's specific location. The NHD is going to tell you straight up if the property is in a high-risk fire area, a special flood zone, or sitting right near an earthquake fault. And look, this information is absolutely critical for figuring out your insurance needs and, your overall safety. And rounding out our big 3 is the Seller Property Questionnaire, or SPQ. Now, if the TDS was the overview, think of the SPQ as the deep dive interview with the seller. This is where we get into the real nitty-gritty. The SPQ asks about stuff the seller might not even think to mention, like past insurance claims or work they did without permits, or any previous battles they had with mold or termites. It's specifically designed to jog their memories so you get a much more complete picture. Okay, but it's not just on the seller to give you all this info. Your real estate agent plays a huge role here too. They act as your second pair of eyes, and they have a legal duty to inspect the property themselves. And this is a really big deal. Both the seller's agent and your agent are required by law to do their own visual inspection and disclose anything major they see. This isn't just them being nice. It is a legal requirement. And this really shows the difference perfectly. The seller discloses what I know from their memory of living in the home. The agent, on the other hand, discloses what I can see. Any visible red flags, like a water stain on the ceiling or a crack in the wall that might point to a bigger issue. It's like a 2-part safety check for you. Okay, so you've got all this information from the seller, from the agents, you're reading the reports, and then you see a red flag. So what do you do now? Do you panic? No. Absolutely not. This is where your power as a buyer truly begins. Let's use a super common example. The seller's TDS mentions a roof leak from a storm 3 years ago, but it says it was repaired. Your first instinct might be to worry, right? Is the problem really fixed? Here is your simple 4-step playbook. First, just acknowledge the flag. Don't panic. Second, investigate. Ask the seller for the repair receipts, any warranties they have. Third, and this is key, inspect. Use your inspection time to hire your own roofer to get a real expert opinion. And fourth, based on what you find out, you negotiate. You can ask for repairs, a credit, or maybe you just move forward, confident that it's not a big deal anymore. And that right there is the key mindset shift. A disclosure isn't an obstacle, it's a roadmap. That mention of a past roof leak isn't a stop sign. It's a signpost telling you exactly where you need to look closer to get the answers you need. So by following this process, you really do transform that overwhelming stack of paper into the foundation for a truly informed decision and a much more confident purchase. So let's just recap the biggest takeaways here. First, always remember these documents exist to protect you. Second, read everything. Seriously, don't skim. And maybe most importantly, a red flag isn't a reason to run away, it's an invitation to dig deeper. Embracing this is what separates a stressful purchase from a really confident one.
When you get right down to it, disclosures aren't deal killers. They are conversation starters. They give you the power to look past the fresh paint and the nice staging and really understand the story of the home you're about to buy. So the next time that 100-page document shows up, don't see a burden, see an opportunity. The only question you have to ask is, what is this house truly trying to tell me?